There's a feminist on Facebook calling herself Ramona Flowers, obviously naming herself after the character in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's called Roosh v. Assaulted, and this is the text of it. I'm going to constantly interrupt the text with my own commentary.
PSA time for all women / badass bitches / fellow feminist warriors. Roosh V is in Canada, unfortunately, and that video of women throwing drinks on him and an angry mob literally chasing him away is P-amazing.
Yes, it's so amazing how the feminists took a difference of opinion and elevated the situation to actual physical violence. That's so cool. I mean, look, Roosh V is definitely, his real name should be Douche B, because he is, in fact, a douchebag of the highest caliber, and we've torn his videos apart over on the Drunken Peasants channel, and I think he is a scumfuck. However, I would never endorse assaulting him. But apparently you do. Apparently you think that because he said words that you don't like, because he holds opinions that you don't like, that gives you the right to attack him. I disagree. I think that that is disgusting and that you're 10 times as deplorable as he is the second you turned it from something verbal into something physical. Now, Ramona Flowers herself did not do this, but as you're about to discover, she was involved in her own altercation.
But on Friday night, this random douchebag, with his gaggle of equally douchey bro-dude fuckboys at Casa del Popolo, was harassing a girl all night who had rejected him over and over, and then rudely came on to me and got aggressive when I rejected him, which in turn made me defensive and aggressive. I threw my drink on him, and he attacked me. And while others did jump in, he grabbed me by my throat and choked me, and I smashed a pint glass over his head, and he punched me in the face. I now have 6 stitches across my nasal bridge and 2 black eyes, and can consider myself very lucky, escape without a broken nose or a facial fracture. So while you cheer the women on in that video, and you'd like to think you'd do the same if put in that position, I want to remind you that these men are dangerous. Pickup artists are literally human garbage, and so are a lot of men in general, so be careful, especially in places like bars where alcohol is involved.
So let me get this narrative straight. This guy hit on you, you rejected him, he got pissed, you threw a drink in his face, and then the altercation erupted. So what you're saying is that you're the one who took it from being a verbal altercation to a physical altercation, and now you want sympathy. Well, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it from me, because you're the one who took it to the level of physical violence. Throwing a drink in someone's face, that's physical violence against them. He had every right to defend himself at that point, regardless of whether or not he was acting like a jerk, and maybe he was. They have minds of abusers and will justify the violence they put on women. Just because you are in a public space with friends around does not mean you are safe. Also, police are garbage, and they treated me horribly, ignoring the fact that he was harassing me and another girl and pushed/choked me, sticking on the fact that I split his face open and that he left the scene in an ambulance. I do believe he was favored because he is Francophone and I am Anglo, FYI. No, I think the reason is probably not to do with him being Francophone and you being Anglo. I think the reason is to do with the fact that you are the one who made it into a physical altercation. You know, you can sit there all night calling each other names. That's fine. But the second that you actually initiated physical violence, everything that happened to you from that point on was justifiable and completely and utterly deserved. And the fact that he left in an ambulance, whereas you're walking around telling the story, kind of says that you're the really aggressive one. He was just defending himself from an attack. Now, that's not to say that he wasn't a douchebag. I don't know. That's not to say that he wasn't a total asshole. And maybe on some larger cosmic level, he deserved what he got. But the fact still remains, you, Ramona Flowers, were the one who took it from a verbal confrontation to a physical confrontation. He had a chance to press charges on me because glass is a weapon, though obviously he didn't because what fuckboy dude bro wants to admit a little girl beat him up? Either way, the world is not safe for us. You attacked a man and sent him away in an ambulance, and yet you're going to say that he was the one who posed a threat to you? He was the danger? No, you are the danger. You are the one who knocks. And I am sharing this because it is a lesson and something I want all women to keep in mind when they go out and are faced with men like this. Be safe, everyone, and if you decide to go with vigilante justice, please be extra careful. Heart, heart, heart. No. Wrong lesson. The lesson is not, if you decide to go with vigilante justice, be extra careful. The lesson should be, don't go with vigilante justice. You are not the justice system. You have no authority to mete out justice. You don't even, because if people had that right, anyone could enforce whatever crazy standard of justice they wanted to. I could just say, oh, you know, this old person is walking too slow, so I push him in a fucking ditch. Justice! They were impeding the flow of traffic. How inconsiderate. Edit. To clarify some messages I've been getting, this was not the work of Roosh V, but a PUA-type man using PUA tactics, not taking no for an answer, and harassing myself and other women in the bar over and over. The same weekend, Roosh V was in Montreal getting drinks dumped on him by other women. Now, as for this Roosh V incident that she's talking about, here's video of that. Roosh V is basically sitting at a bar, minding his own business. Now, as I have stated, Roosh V is a fucking douchebag. He deserves contempt, he deserves to be hated, he deserves to be argued with. But what he does not deserve is for people to walk up to him and say, hey, are you Roosh V? And when he says yes, just pour a drink on his face, and then chase him from the bar, and continue following him down the street, harassing him. He wasn't harassing women, women were harassing him. And there's nothing you can do to change that. The fact that he's a douchebag is irrelevant. Vigilante justice is never called for. And he has a right to his opinion. Even if you disagree with it and think it's the most disgusting and villainous opinion in the history of the human race, he's still entitled to it. Get used to it. It's called freedom of speech, motherfucker. I'm the Amazing Atheist. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. Peace the fuck out. And if you want to see me review the terrible movie Angels in the Outfield, which I had to watch about 1 billion times when I was growing up, and I've always hated it, and I've always wanted a chance to sink my teeth into it again as an adult to tear it the fuck apart, then sign up for an Audible trial below at audibletrial.com/theamazingatheist. The link is right down there. You get a free audiobook in the process, and you get me reviewing this terrible piece of shit pseudo-Christian propaganda film, Angels in the Outfield. It's horrible, and you'll see why when I do the review.